Hey Cancer, thanks for visiting. This is your reading for December 10th to December 16th. And if you like this reading, as I always ask you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you would like to. Only if you'd like to. I'm just going to get on with this as quickly as I can. It's quiet outside, I can't believe it, so I'm going to start right now. The first card you have for your past is the Ace of Cups. So yeah, I'm just seeing, because I'm looking at this dove on this card, and it has to work all its way down through this cup, right in, through the tears, through the pain, through everything, to get out to the other side, to get this peace. That's what I'm seeing when I look at this card. So I'm seeing searching for peace. I'm seeing someone could have been really, really searching for their peace, but they had to go through a lot. They had to go through a lot of pain. They had to go through a lot of hard work before they could actually get that sense of peace inside themselves. Now, I don't think this is actually about you. I think this could be about someone who wasn't around you at this time. This is someone who was working toward getting out of a really, really difficult situation. And I think you knew who this was. I think you were a bit concerned about them. But they weren't around you at this time. And I think whoever this was, I don't think they forgot about you. They weren't around you, but they hadn't forgotten about you. I keep on seeing that. And I think I need to say that. They still haven't forgotten about you. That's what the message I need to kind of tell you about that. I think this person was probably under a huge amount of stress, and they still are now. They still are now. They're under a huge amount of stress, but I think they're working through this. And I think they're getting through this. And I think a while ago, I think they might have been in your last reading maybe, but I think they were kind of right at the beginning of this process. It was really hard for them. And I think now they've kind of gotten through a bit further in this process, if that makes sense. They're not at the beginning, they're not at the end. They're kind of somewhere in the middle now through this process. Now, I don't know if you want this person, if you want to wait for this person, or if you don't want to wait for this person, I don't know. But I can see that they're really going through a lot. They really have a lot to sort out. And I think you might have thought they were a hermit. And I think other people probably did too, other people around them. I think they've probably been out of communication with a lot of people, including yourself. But they're sorting things out. They're probably still working through things at this time. They probably still are. This is a big, big job for them to do. This is a big thing they have to get through, whatever this is. So yes, again, the next card you have for your past is the Ten of Wands. Here it is. They were overburdened, and I think they still are, but I think they're further along than they were. And they're working their way through this. But yeah, it's still taking a lot of time, I think, and they might have also had some very, they might have had some very difficult people around them as well. Very difficult people. I think they were under a lot of pressure, And at one time, I think they probably couldn't see a way out of this situation that they were in, but I think at this time they could. It was like they could finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. They could finally see a way out. And that's a huge step. I mean, if you can't see a way out of something, you may as well not bother to try sometimes. But if you can finally see even a tiny way out, psychologically, that's a huge step. That's a huge thing for them. So now that they've seen this light, they've seen a way out, they can now do this. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm also seeing you feeling this kind of big, heavy burden, this big feeling as well sometimes. I think you could have been picking up on this heavy energy from this person, if that makes sense. I think you just had this kind of heaviness around you. And I think, I'm actually seeing your emotions feeling quite heavy, like your heart was quite heavy, not all the time, but sometimes. It's like you were going along, and then there were moments where you just had to stop whatever you were doing and try and get over this kind of heaviness in your heart. And you might have lost concentration while you were feeling like that. And I think, you kept going with your work. You did your work, you did everything else you had to do. But I think some of the results that you were getting in your work and these things weren't as good as what they should have been, because I think you were really feeling these really heavy feelings. And this is showing me that you really did feel for them. And that's why this person's coming up in this reading. That's why usually when I get a reading for someone and another person's coming up all the time in their reading, it's either because they're thinking about them, they're wondering how they are, or they've really, really affected them quite deeply. And that's obviously this person was affecting you without even saying anything to you. So the last card you have for your past is Judgment. So yeah, again, I keep on seeing this person. And I think, yeah, they definitely have been going through a process of finding their peace. I think, again, I can see they're still going through this very difficult process, finding their peace, finding themselves, looking into themselves. Like there's a family on this card, and they're kind of reflected in the other end of this card and the other side of this card. So this is kind of reflective. This person was probably thinking about themselves, where they were in the place of other things around them. And I think for a long time this person might have been trying to please other people, and that might have been a big problem between you. If this is an ex and this is someone you were with, I think you could have felt as if there were a family between you. But I think they're coming into themselves now. I think, they might be realizing that, this is something they need to change, something they have to kind of address. And I think they're trying to move away from some of these people. And I think it's coming at a cost. I think they're going to lose some people, and as they go through this, and I think some people might even be angry with them or upset with them. But I think they're getting stronger, and as they get stronger, they're going to realize that, they can come out of this even if they're by themselves, and they don't need this kind of energy around them. That's what I'm seeing. And this card could also be about forgiveness. I think, when they come out of this and they're by themselves and they've gotten out the other end of this, I think they might want you to forgive them for something. I keep on seeing this family for some reason, so maybe some members of their family might not have treated you very well or something like that, and I think they're going to realize that, and I think they're going to come and try to ask for you to forgive them for that, as well as some other things. I think they also took you for granted. I think there are some other things in there as well. But I do see them coming forward to you, and I do see them asking for you to forgive them. That's what I'm seeing. Not now, but when they've gotten through this process. So the first card you have for your present is Strength. So yeah, I'm seeing you might have had, or you are having to be a bit diplomatic in this card. Maybe this was something around the workplace, something work related. I think you're actually quite good at keeping calm around stressful people and stressful situations. And I think you've always been a little bit like that. You've always been able to keep your feelings to yourself when you've needed to. You do have very deep feelings. You're the sign that has the very, very, very deep feelings. But you can also be good at keeping these feelings to yourself when you need to. And you always have been good at that. And it's really done you well, I think. There's an infinity symbol above this woman's head. And so she's always been able to tame this lion, and that's about taming herself, her own feelings, her own reactions to things, as well as other people. So yeah, infinity, she's always been able to do that. But yes, I'm seeing I'm seeing two people. I'm seeing two specific people in this card, and I think they're around your workplace, and I think they might be having some kind of argument. This is some kind of very petty argument, or it is as far as you're concerned. You think it's petty, or they're having some silly fight about something that you think isn't very important. I think one of them might even be trying to come to you to kind of talk to you about the other one, trying to get you to take their side or something. But you don't want to take sides, and I think you are rising above this. You're really rising above this, because I'm seeing the woman and the lion on this card. They're both a lot bigger than the landscape around them. So you rose up, you became bigger than what was around you. I'm not saying that you're bigger or better than anyone else. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you tried to rise up above the situation. And you have a full life. You have a full life outside of this workplace and outside of these workplace dramas. And I think even if you didn't have a full life, you really would not want to get involved in this. You just wanted to get your work done and not worry about any of this. That's what I'm seeing. So you really did rise above this, and you really kept your feelings to yourself, and you didn't kind of get involved in this. excuse me, the next card you have for your present is the Queen of Cups. So yes, again, putting your lid on your emotions, on your true feelings. This queen is looking at this cup, her feelings are in there. Obviously cups represent feelings, but she has a lid on it. She's putting a lid on her feelings. That's what you did. You kept your feeling, or that's what you are doing, I should say. You're keeping your feelings to yourself. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is creativity. I think you might have some kind of creative thing going on outside of this workplace, because I was seeing you have a life outside of your workplace, something else you have in your mind that you're kind of concentrating on. This might be creative aspirations. It might be a business, a creative business or a side business. And yeah, again, this is probably one of the reasons why you weren't getting involved in anything around your workplace. You weren't too involved in it, apart from kind of just getting your work finished and going home again. So this is also showing me that you are still thinking about this person in the Ace of Cups, whether you want to or not. Even if you don't want to think about them, you still are. And I think you do still care about them. You do still think about them. I'm seeing that. So if this all resonates and they do eventually come around to talk to you with an apology, to want to start again with you, there are going to be a lot of talks. There's going to have to be a lot of soul searching going on between you around this. My feeling is that, you know, if the work's put in on both sides, I don't think it's too late for this. I think there is a chance of you starting again with this person. Of course, that's up to you. It's up to them too. But I think they really do want this. They're waiting for all of this big problem to kind of leave them so they can come out and rise out of these kind of ashes or whatever it is and come toward you with an apology. That's what I'm seeing might happen, and that's what they're working toward. And you are thinking about them. If this resonates, that's what I'm seeing. The last card you have for your present is the Queen of Swords. So yes, this queen's so strong. She's like the strongest queen of all. She's extremely strong. She's extremely independent. She doesn't mind being alone. She'd rather be alone than with someone who's not 100% right for her. And I think, you know, you're going to have a lot of decisions to make when this person comes back to you again. You're going to have to weigh up a lot of things. This queen has her sword up against what she doesn't want, and she has her hand up welcoming people toward her, the people who she does want. So yeah, I'm seeing that you did go through a lot with this person. I can see that. And again, I'm seeing a lot of conversations are going to be happening between you. I'm seeing apologies again. I'm seeing that there were things that happened on both sides. So you might even have to apologize to them for something, or you might feel that you need to. But I think, you know, this all needs to be sorted out. This all needs to be talked through. It's going to take some time to do that. And it's not going to be easy. It really isn't. The other thing I'm seeing is that you've really changed a lot as well. You've really changed since you were around this person. You've had to. And you've transformed. There's transformation in this card. This queen has butterflies on her throne, and she also has them around her crown. And butterflies obviously represent transformation. Butterfly, you know, there's a cocoon and they come out a butterfly, so transforming. And I think you're probably going to want to make this work, I think. But it's going to be work if you want to make this work. It's going to be a really big effort on both of your parts, on both of your sides. Excuse me, sorry, I nearly coughed. So the first card you have for your future is the Knight of Swords. So yeah, I think they're probably going to be a lot more enthusiastic than you are in getting back together again. I'm not saying you're not enthusiastic. I just think that you're like the Queen of Swords. You want to take your time. You want to make sure you're 100% ready. You want to make sure there's no rubbish coming to you. You've got your sword up against that. You're only going to say yes to what you're truly, truly happy to accept. But they're like the Knight of Swords. They want to rush in towards you. They want to apologise, and then they might want it to all be over once they've apologised and you say, yes, I accept, and then you rush off into the sunset. That's not what's going to happen. And I think after a while they're going to realise that, and they're going to calm down after a while. You're going to take your time. they're not insincere, they're very sincere. They love you, they want to come forward to you, that's what I'm seeing. They're on a white horse, which is a very honest, sincere horse. And also, if you look at this horse, I don't know if you can see, it's very tiny. There's a small red heart behind this horse's eye. So in this person's eye, they are thinking about love for you. That's what they're thinking about, and they're rushing forward trying to get that. But I think they're going to try and start off by doing that, and then they're going to realize that you are a lot more cautious than they are, and you want to take your time, and then they're going to kind of pull back a little bit after that. Just like this knight is trying to pull this horse back because it's a little bit out of control. So yeah, the next card you have for your future is the Four of Cups. So yes, this might be kind of what this apology is about. I think this person, two things. They might have taken you for granted over some things in the past, which is what I was seeing. I think it was in the Judgment card. And I think they also let other people come between you and them. And they weren't, they didn't stand up for you. They didn't support you. That's what I'm seeing. And I think that's what they might be apologizing for. And I think, yeah, this is what they've come to realize, that they didn't appreciate you. That's what this card's about. I mean, this cup, this beautiful golden cup, is being handed to this man, but he's not appreciating it. He has his arms folded and he's looking somewhere else. He's saying, I don't want that, I don't appreciate that, but it's a golden cup. So you're a golden cup, you are golden. And this person did not appreciate that at the time, and now they are starting to appreciate this. So yeah, again, you're going to be working through this. They're realizing that, and I think they're going to tell you that. I am seeing you having a lot of talks with this person. I'm seeing more than one talk. I'm seeing you having a talk, then you're coming away to have a rest, then you're coming back to have another talk, then resting, then talking. And I think that's what you're going to need. You're going to need this time apart. You're going to need some breaks, some breathing space, because I think these are going to be very intense conversations between you. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have for your future is the Magician, and I love this card. I think this person, they might not be letting you know this. They probably aren't, because the Magician doesn't really say a lot of what they're thinking. But even though there'll be a lot of work to get through between you, and they're going to be willing to do this work, I think deep down they might be quite confident that this is all going to work out in the end. They're very optimistic. They want to manifest this connection, truly, they really do, between you again. They're not going to be manipulative, they're not going to be tricky, they're just going to have very, very positive intentions toward this connection. And they're going to be 100% sure that this is what they want and this is what they're going to get. That's what I'm seeing. But I think also the way to do that is that they're going to follow your lead as well. They can see that you're going to be quite a little bit worried about this. You're going to want to do this slowly. And so they're going to do that. They're going to do whatever it takes to enable them to get what they want, which is to be back together, to be connecting with you again. And I think, you know, they're going to be a lot stronger at this time. And I think in the beginning they were very strong. And then they got into all of these problems in the Ace of Cups. And even before that, they got into a lot of family drama, I think. A lot of very heavy things that they felt they couldn't get out of. Now, before they fell into that, they're extremely strong. And now that they're out of this, they're at their strength again. They're the Magician. They want to manifest this with you. I think they probably are going to do that. Of course, this is up to you. I don't want to tell you what to do. But I think that's what they want, and I think that's what they're going to probably get. So, Cancer, I hope this resonated. As you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone. But again, if you like this reading, please like, please subscribe. Please leave a comment if you would like to. Thank you so, so, so much for watching.